प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः।
ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. We are studying the Srimad Bhagavad Gita with Shankar's commentary, and the first chapters, some water has entered into the second chapter. First chapter called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. We have seen that last time, and now in the second chapter we have read up to shloka 8. Arjuna there says that two things are there in the 7th and the 8th shlok. In the 6th, he has expressed doubt whether what is good for us and what is bad. I am confused, and we do not know whether we will win or lose. That also I do not know. And those after killing whom I would not like to live there, collected here for war. So 3 things he has expressed there. And then in the 7th mantra shloka he says, Karpanya dosho apahata svabhavam pruchhami tvam dharma sammudacheta yat shreyasyan nischitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So he understands, because all his lectures do not produce any effect on Bhagavan. Rather, Bhagavan has told him on the 2nd and 3rd shloka that don't, from where this dirt has come in the war, which is not fitting for the Aryas, people with idealistic bent of mind. Neither will it lead to Swarga nor to Kirti, fame in this world. Don't succumb to impotency, O Arjun. That does not befit you. You are such that your enemies will get scorched by you, not you. And this rubbish, weakness of the heart, give up and get up. So that has pinched Arjuna, that my thinking is not correct. And so he has said, though he has tried to defend himself in the name of Bhishma and Drona, and then coming back to all the Dhartarashtra, he says, my nature seems to have been stolen. Seems I am adding, my nature is stolen by my limited wrong thinking. And I become confused what is right and what is wrong for me. But I want the ultimate good. So what will be leading to that ultimate good? You please think. And what you decide, that please tell me. I am your disciple. Please teach me. I have surrendered to you. Now, Krishna is Bhagavan, all the Pandavas and Arjuna know. But at this point, Arjuna becomes disciple. He meets Krishna as his guru and says, I have surrendered to you. You please teach me. So this has brought out the entire Gita. Because unless you earn the discipleship, you cannot get from teacher. And that is why Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvad. And that is why we studied Arjuna in great detail. Then he says, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachhokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhumau asapatnam ruddham rajyam suranam api chadipatyam. I do not see anything which can remove this sorrow which has struck me, which has dried all my indriyas. Even if I get uncompeted kingdom of this heaven, of this earth, and even the kingdom of heaven, but my shok will not go, my sorrow. So it proves that sorrow does not go by any worldly gain. It may appear for that moment, but next moment it will be there. And that is what is the Gita comes. So we should understand that in Gita, Bhagavan's teaching will be such that it will remove Arjuna's sorrow forever. And what he said, get up, that is what Arjuna will do. Now, the whole thing is reported by Sanjay. So, the connection is given again by Sanjay in the 9th shlok. Sanjay uvacha eva muktva Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapa na yotse iti govindam uktva tushnim babuvaha. So the conclusion is like this, that Rishikesha, the master of his own indriyas, the master of all of our indriyas, was addressed by Sanjay is telling, Parantapa Gudakesha. You have seen the meaning of Gudakesha, and scorcher of the enemies. But, hey Govinda, I will not fight. This telling conclusively, he became silent. He has not got up, and he became quiet by declaring that he will not fight, whatever may happen. Now, Sanjay continues. We read Shloka 10. Tam vacha Rishikeshaha prasanniva bharat senayor madhe vishidantam idam vachaha. So the fun here is that Arjuna has been attacked by sorrow, and he says this sorrow can never go, and Krishna smiles at that. Prasanniva, as if laughing, that means smiling. Bharata, O Bharatvanshi Dhritarashtra, so what is this smile for? This is not a derisive smile. Why are you weeping? No. One thing is that this is the very nature of Bhagavan, because he is Satchidananda by his nature. So this Ananda is his inherent property. Secondly, it shows his compassion. He knows surely, Arjuna, I will get him away from this sorrow, surely by my teaching. That is the meaning of that smile. And you will find this smile in all the incarnations. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, from page 1 to page last, you will find Sri Ramakrishna smiling. So this is a property of the incarnations. Now, in that between the two armies, sorrowing Arjuna, Bhagavan said this sentence. Some people think from here the Gita starts. But we know Gita started by the situation, by depicting Arjuna's character in contrast with Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And such Arjun had fallen into the deep ocean of sorrow. Now let us see what the God has to tell him. So here, after the introductory commentary, here we meet Shankara's commentary first time. Shankara summed up all this by one or two sentences. Ataracha, in here, Drishtva tu Pandava Nikam iti arabhya, that is, Dhritarashtra Uvacha he has left behind. But starting from Duryodhana, Drishtatu Pandavani Ekam. That means he has not given numbers of shlokas, that is not the style, but from here, from second shloka of the first chapter, Na yotse iti govinda muktva tushnim babuvaha. That is the ninth shloka of this chapter. From here to here, iti etadanta. Starting from there, ending here. Praninam. He is not showing only his, but of all beings. Shoka mohadi sansara bija bhuta dosha udbhava karana pradarshanaarthatvena vyakhayo grantha. Vyakhayo. Thus grantha, starting from there to there, should be explained as Praninam. All beings in the world, all human beings in the world, Sansara Bija Bhuta Dosha, the faults, the defects, which are the seeds of this world. Samsara. Samsara means being nicely pulled here and there, life after life, death after death, because of our desires, because of our imperfections. That is called samsara. And what is the seed cause of this samsara? That is shoka, moha, adi. Sorrow, delusion, etc. These are the bijabhuta, the seeds of this samsara hetu. The sanskara, samsara, bijabhuta dosha, udbhava karana. Udbhava, that means they rise. The cause of the rise of these faults, which are seeds of the samsara, they rise because, and they are evil in life. And they rise because shoka, moha, adi. So that is for all beings, mind you. Shankar is hinting, telling that all people at some point of their life get struck by sorrow and delusion. And that causes the samsara continuity in their life. To show this, should we explain the Gita Grantha from here to here. So from all that, what we have to learn, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, what is that? That is being told by Shankaracharya, that at some point or the other, because of the attachments, man is struck by sorrow and delusion. So wrong thinking. So that the whole thinking process gets vitiated. That is what is moha. So man should be careful. When this will rise, we do not know. And they become the cause of our life after life, death after death. That is how this portion of the book should be understood. Should be explained, that means should be understood. Tatha, for example, this is how the Grantha should be understood. For example, Arjunena, by Arjuna. Rajya, Guru, Putra, Mitra, Surut, Sabandhi, Swajana, Sambandhi, Bandhaveshu. So Arjuna, about kingdom, teacher, sons, friends, other type of friends, his own people, relations, all friends and relatives who are friends. Among them, Aham Esham Mama Ete. I belong to them, they belong to me. This is called attachment. This is wrong. Nobody belongs to you. You do not belong to anybody. You belong only to your Ishta God, your own real nature, which you have yet to realize. Other than him, you do not belong to anybody. You cannot be a slave to anybody. You are free man from your very nature. And Mamayate, they are yours. Nobody is dependent on you. This is a great fault to think that they are mine. I have to be responsible for them, their life or death, or their sustenance. So these are what Shankara said, Shoka and Moha cause. These are the fundamental defects shown by Arjuna. Iti evam bhranti pratyaya. This is a mistaken notion. Pratyaya means experiences like that. His actual experiences, his consciousness has been vitiated and it has become like this, which is wrong, which is out of delusion. Pratyaya nimitta. Because of that, sneha vichedadi nimitta. So because of this wrong delusory awareness, he has shown sneha. Sneha means something which makes two things stick. That is called sneha. So, in some Indian languages, the ghee or oil, whatever it is, we put in wheat flour to make it proper ball. That is also called sneha. So anything which makes things stick together is sneha. And definitely, vicheda is going to happen. Anything which comes together has to separate. But that, because of his delusory experience, this becomes the cause, and that causes Atmana Shokamoho Pradarshitau. So the Shokamoha, which are the seeds of samsara, have been caused because of his attachment and fear of separation due to his delusory awareness of their mind, I am theirs. Amongst, like that we read, amongst kingdom, guru, putra, mitra, surut, sajana, sambandhi, bandhaveshu, pradarshito. How we have shown that? Katham bhishmamam sankhya ityadina. So Shankar refers to the last few shlokas of Dvitiya Adhyaya because there he started Guru. How I shall kill my Guru and how I shall enjoy my kingdom. So starting from there he has said. Now what happens? Arjuna's example now generalizes what happens in everybody's life. Shoka mohabhyam hi abhibhuta viveka vijnana स्वतः एव क्षात्र धर्मे युद्धे प्रवृत्ता अपि तस्मात् युद्धात् उपरराम. We take up from the middle. He himself was fully ready and had come prepared to fight. He had tended to fight, pravritta. He had mentally tended to fight because that was his righteous path towards God. Kshatra dharma. Dharma in the Gita means path to God. And everybody should look for his dharma. So, Arjuna was a Kshatriya, a noble Kshatriya. Now, let me tell some more things here. What is a Kshatriya? Now, in India, some people say Indians are divided the society into castes. It is totally wrong, please. Totally wrong. India has not divided. India has recognized, first of all, India understands that people belong to broadly 4 different categories due to their nature of the inner qualities which they possess. Later on, Bhagwan will nicely explain these things. Who is a Brahmin, who is a Kshatriya and all that. But now, I want to show you the presence of Kshatriyas throughout the world. So you'll understand what is a Kshatriya. In Roman times, there were city-states, and they used to protect their cities by digging a channel and making water flow around that city. And because of this, the people in that city had become lethargic, overconfident that nobody will attack us. But the enemy spies are always working. They understood the people have become lethargic, not prepared to fight. So they attack in the night. And the news comes, there were no kings on those days, and councils. The news comes that the enemy has reached the other shore of that channel. Now the council sits. What is to be done? There are so many suggestions floating. Somebody says, we should erect a wall, we should have. But then it was decided the only way to stop war at present is to pull down. There is a narrow bridge on that channel with a gate. And so that bridge has to be broken down so that vast enemy cannot come through water. That is the only way. But they have reached there. So up to the time the bridge is broken, some people have to go and fight, even though they may die. And perhaps because the bridge is narrow, 3 people will be sufficient to protect the bridge. But there should be 3 people. Who will go? Then there is a great poem. Horatius is the name of that poem. Then outspake brave Horatius, the captain of the gate, for every man upon this earth, death cometh soon or late. Then how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his God? That is Kshatriya. Horatius says that death is going to come to every man now, quickly or later, but death is sure. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds? For what? For the ashes of his fathers. That means they were also cremating, and the ashes were protected in tombs or such structures. Samadhi Mandir, we say. So the protection of his forefathers' tombs and temples of his gods. They also had various gods. And there were temples for various gods. And to protect those temples and the ashes, is that not the best death? This is exactly Kshatriya. We say, on our side, go Brahmana Pratipalak. Mandir and ancestors' tombs, that has to be protected. Who will do that? Not everybody, Kshatriyas. So I have shown you presence of Kshatriya throughout the world through this point. So he was ready to go. He wanted to go. Then seeing him rise, 2 more assistants got up. We'll fight, we'll fight. So these 3 went to the other side of the bridge. And they started fighting. Enemy is huge. But because the bridge is narrow, 3 people standing on the bridge can fight. Now, on this side, the engineers and others started breaking down that bridge. And when the bridge was about to fall, they shouted, come back, come back. Then the 2 assistants which had gone ran back and reached safety. Horatius did not turn back. When he saw that the bridge has broken down and fallen, now enemy cannot come, then he jumped in that water and he swam across. And they lifted him up. And during his lifetime, they erected a statue there. That is Horatius. This is Kshatriya. So, Kshatra Dharma, this is a path that they might or might not have understood. But the nature of Kshatriya. And then in India, we know that this is his path his righteous path, not to go to heaven necessarily, he may, but if he does, Shankara has already told in the introduction, normally this will lead to heaven. And Arjuna has argued, I will go to hell if I kill them. And Bhagavan has said, this will not lead you to heaven. You are running away. So what will lead you to heaven? Kshatra dharma. But mainly, as Shankara has pointed out, without the desire of heaven, if he performs, his mind will be purified. Not for Brahmin, not for Vaishya, not for Shudra, for a Kshatriya. His mind will be purified by his dutiful dharma. And then he will get knowledge, and he will get devotion, and he will get his own nature. That is the path, so dharma. So, what happens if he is overpowered by shoka and moha, sorrow and delusion? Then his viveka vidyan, discrimination, experienced discrimination. Discrimination leading to experiential knowledge of vairagya. That becomes overpowered. Then by himself, he had come to war by himself, though even then, tasmad yuddhad upararama. So he withdraws from that war. Though he had come of his own, but due to these reasons, if he is overpowered, he withdraws. Paradharmam cha, and wants to take a righteous course, but belonging to somebody else. The Brahmins are not going to fight. The Brahmins' method is to think of God, teach of God. That is Brahmins' method. So he said, and bake food. That was Brahmins was doing in those days. You know, Brahmins in those days were not having jobs. No. Brahmins obtained their food by begging. Just like the sannyasis even do not do today. Just as we expect sannyasis to do. It is not something low and all that. Sannyasi is proud because he does not earn money. So he will make food for his sustenance to do sadhana. That was done by Brahmins. Because of the excessive sattva guna in them, the balancing, the meditative life, that was Brahmins. You know, Samartha Ramdas Swami, who is supposed to be Shivaji's guru, he has declared ब्राह्मणाची मुख्य दीक्षा मागितली पाहिजे भिक्षा ओम भवती या पक्षा रक्षिले पाहिजे. When they stand at a door, the Brahmins, they say, oh lady of the house, please give me alms. Sannyasis do not do that. Sannyasis stand at the door of householder and will say Narayana Hari. They remember God and they remind the householder of God. But the Brahmins used to say, oh lady of the house, please give us bhiksha. So Ramdas Swami says that religion should be protected, that side should be protected. That means that is how the Brahmins should make their food. So he said, better I will take food of begging, that he had said. So his mind was being inclined towards righteous path belonging to others, not him. This is important. That two things. If his Viveka Vijnan has been overpowered by wrong thinking, delusory thinking, then he withdraws from his own path and tends to go to some righteous path belonging to others. Bhiksha jivanadikam kartum pravravrutte. So he tended to go into the life depending upon begging, which is the proper religion for Brahmins. Tatha cha, this is Arjuna's example. Tatha cha, similarly, sarva praninam, shoka mohade doshavishta chetasam. So all the beings, if they are overpowered by their minds, are overpowered, filled with shoka mohadi dosh, sorrow, delusion, and other faults. Svabhavata eva, swadharma parityaga, pratisiddha sevacha syat. So what happens? In a natural way, their own path they give up and they do something which is prohibited. That may be others' path. For you it is prohibited. No, not for you. So now suppose it does not happen. The Kshatriya continues to do his duty. That also chance is there. But then his idealism becomes vitiated. Swadharme pravrittanam api. Suppose he remains outside in his own righteous path. Tesham vang manak kayadinam pravritti. The tendency of their speech, mind, body, etc. Falabhisandhi purvika eva sahankara cha bhavati. Two defects enter there. We have seen in the Vedic Karmakanda, each work was given a result. And that work was done by ego. I am doing this work, so I'll get my result. So a sadhaka, a man coveting the highest good, does not do this. He is doing his duty for the sake of purification, for the sake of getting knowledge and devotion and going to God. But if that discriminative knowledge is vitiated by shoka and moha, then either he gives up his religion or he is formally doing his duty, but always thinking of the result and egoistically he is doing. So that is equally a fault so long as not going to heaven, so long as his dharma for getting God realization is concerned. So in these two paras, Shankara has shown the entire gamut of what is the way to God, realize God. Each person has his own duty, and that duty he has to do to give him purification of the mind, by which knowledge and devotion will be born. He had already told in the beginning. And that will lead him to his ultimate goal. But if the Viveka Vijnana is overpowered by wrong thinking, delusory thinking, he will either stop doing his duty and going to other man's duty, or he will continue doing his duty, but with always thinking of the result. Phala abhisandhi purvaka, hoping always for the result, and with ego of doership. Tatra evam sati. What will happen further? What will happen further? Tatra evam sati. When this happens, either this or this, dharma dharmopachaya, then you will earn dharma. Adharma means here, not that dharma. Dharma means punya. Adharma means papa. So, meaning of dharma and adharma changed here. Huh? His own dharma, not for punya. His own dharma for purification, that is different. Now he will follow his own dharma. So, or other dharma. So that will give him virtue or vice. Dharma upachayat. He will store more and more, increase in the dharma and adharma. Ishta anishta janma sukha dukkha samprapti lakshana samsara. What is the samsara? Favorable or unfavorable birth. You will become a man or a god or an animal according to your store of punya and pap. Sukha dukkha samprapti. And accordingly, if you have done good works, you will get sukha, bad works, then dukkha. So, sukha dukkha obtained and birth obtained, that is samsara. that will continuously happen in you. Anuparato bhavati, non-stoppable. If he does not follow, then this will happen. Anuparato ityata sansara bijabhuto shoko moho. That is how Shankar says, I have shown you how shoka and moha lead to sansar. Tayo cha sarva karma sannyasa purvakad atmajnanat na neto nivrutti. He has shown in the preface that the only way to come out of this sansar is by realizing your own real nature. You may term it as realizing God or going to God or loving God, but the ultimate analysis is that you realize your own real nature, and for that you have to give up doership, ego of every sort. Sarva karma sannyasi. All this we have seen in the preface. That gets connected here now. Shankar is showing the connection that is what happens in case of all beings. By only accumulating virtue and vice, they will get life accordingly, they will get happiness and misery accordingly, and the sansar will continue. And this goes away only by na neto nivrutti. There is no other way of removing this, stopping this sansar. Otherwise, you have to realize your own self by giving up ego, doership ego of every sort. Tad upadedikshu. So that, what is that? Sarva karma sannyasa purvakat atmajnanat. So atmajnan has to be taught to Arjuna. Desiring of teaching that. Sarva lokanugrartham. And why? He is taking so much trouble. He sees the entire humanity before him. And he wants to, in the preface he has said, as if doing good to people. So he, out of compassion, out of showering grace on the entire humanity, has given this Gita Shastra. Not only for Arjuna. Arjunam nimitte krutya. He has made Arjuna as the temporary cause to give out this Gita for the benefit of all humanity. Aha, Bhagavan Vasudeva. So here Shankara is reminded that the son of Vasudeva, who is actually the Bhagavan who has created this world and wants the world to be sustained, he is teaching Arjuna in the form and entire humanity in his mind, Ashochan Ityadi. So, from the 11th shloka, that is how the Gita starts, and that Shankara is referred here. So, the entire Gita is taught. Arjuna is the nimitta to the entire humanity to save them from Shokamoha and make them follow their own path, everybody's own path, toward the goal of life, not allowing them to give it up and go to other paths or to do it wrongly. So this is here stated for the entire Gita. Now, he knows that many people interpret it in their own way. He has told Padapadartha Vakyartha. So, Tatra Kechid Ahu. The fundamental point is that many people accept Atma Jnan, but they do not understand what is Jnan. They do not understand Jnan is the change of consciousness. Jnan is the change of consciousness, removing the duality of doership and action. Jnana is the change of consciousness leading to realization of your own real nature, which is the real nature of the entire world. So that they do not know. They know knowledge leads to moksha. But what is that knowledge? Tatra kechidahu sarva karma sannyasa purvakat atma jnana nishtha matrat eva kevalat kaivalyam na prapyate eva. Kaivalyam is a word used by all the philosophical schools in India with different meanings. Sankhya's Kaivalya, I am away from Prakriti, I am one amongst many. That is their Kaivalya. Vedanta is, my reality is the one reality of the world. There is nothing real else. That is Kaivalya, Kevala, one without a second. So the meaning itself is different. He says, by Atma Jnana Nishtha, he has told in the preface, you get a glimpse of Atma Jnana and then you become steadfast in that, and that is possible only when you give up all your egos of all types. Some people say that is not the only way. Kaivalyam na prapyate, kevalat na prapyate eva. Only that is not the way to get moksha. Kim tarhi? Then what do they say? Agnihotradi shrota smarta karma sahita jnanat kavalya prapti iti sarvasu gitasu nishchita arthai. They say if you see the entire Gita, the meaning it will be revealed that you get knowledge. Yes, that is necessary to know what is your real nature, theoretical. No? But you should never give up the works enjoined by the Shrutis Vedas and also works enjoyed by the Smrutis, Manusmriti like that. So what is the works enjoined by the Vedas? Homa, Havana. And what is the work enjoined by the Smritis? Do good to the people, dig tanks, make roads. So these work should not. And also the Smritis will tell you, Brahmin does this, Kshatriya does this, all that is by the Smritis. And so both the types of works you have to continue and add knowledge, and that is the way to get mukti, not mere knowledge, not mere knowledge without work. That is what some people think. They think that the whole Gita tends to that. Jnapakancha ahu, and they will show the scriptural text for that, which has Jnapaka, which informs them of this. Asya arthasya Jnapaka. So, revealing this meaning or prescribing this meaning, they will show. Atha chetvamimam dharmam sangramam na karishyasi Swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papamavapsasi karmanneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturvu ma te sangostu karmani kuru karmaiva tasmattam purvai purvataram krutam. Three quotations he has chosen. First is that this sangrama is a dharma. If you do not do that, you will incur sin. So he enjoys karma to be done. Smriti karma to be done. Karmani eva adhikaraste. This is the main crux. Reading the whole Gita, we have seen many preachers, household especially. We'll see what Gita teaches. Karmani eva adhikaraste. Na phale, ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturvu mate sangostu akarmani. Akarmani sango ma bhut. They even forget the context. Every meaning should be understood by the context. Bhagavan was preaching up to that point, Atma Jnana, and he is telling, you are not qualified for that today. You have to come to it through work. Karmani eva adhikaraste. They forget. And they generally, only way is karma. So that is how they wrongly refer. Even a devil quotes scriptures. So what suits them, they quote from the scripture, and he says, you must do work because the old people also have done work. So you have to do. So these three places, they show that you have to do work, ityadi, and some other sentences of this type. Now, This is the meaning raised by some people. Now, some people raise a doubt in this meaning, but these people have a reply to that. हिंसादियुक्तत्वात् वैदिकं कर्म अधर्माय इति इयमपि आशंका न कार्या. Some people will say, you want Vedic karma? And Vedic karma means yajnarthe pashava srishta. Normally, pashus should not be killed, but pashus have been born, created for the sake of sacrifice. So that was the Aryan concept. Here I will tell you something interesting. In the south, in the Tamil Nadu, they had their own religion. Vedic religion went there little later. They had their non-Vedic Shiva worship. And so even today, the Shaivas, Shiva worshippers, were strict vegetarians. And throughout North India, the vegetarianism came only after Lord Buddha's preaching. Till then, Vedic karma means kill the animal, sacrifice and eat. And so, in the north, you must have seen if there is a vegetarian restaurant, they write there Vaishnav Dhaba. And the south people call it Shaiva food. The vegetarian food in South India is called Shaiva food. We the sannyasins are asked, you will take Shaiva food, isn't it? So first, when a North Indian man listens to that, he's shocked. What is Shaiva food? Then he gradually understand that in Tamil Nadu, Shaiva food means vegetarian. In the north, Shaiva food means Vaishnava food. So this big difference has come because they had a pre-Vedic Shaiva religion. I pointed out to you because here the reference came that some people will tell you Vedic Dharma means killing animals. So how can this hinsa lead you to virtue? Adharmaya iti iyamapi ashanka na karya. You should not doubt like that. Katham kshatram karma yuddha lakshanam guru bhratru putra the hinsa lakshanam. So he says, don't think of the yajnas. But what is Kshatriya's work? Guru, brothers, sons, etc. Hinsa is the lakshana, is the characteristics of Kshatriya dharma. Atyanta kruram api, is it not very cruel? Not killing some animals, but killing all Guru Putra Bhatru. Iti krutva na dharmaya. But because it is very cruel compared to even the animal sacrifice, it is not irreligion. It is not against religion. Tad akaranecha tata swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papamam apsesi iti bruvata. If you do not do that, Shankara referred to what the other people say, na? That if you do not do that, then swadharma, your own path, kirtim, you will kill and your pap will get. Iti bruvata, Bhagavan has said like that. Yavad jivadi shruti chodita nam pashvadi hinsa. Now this is what the argument of those who say you must continue to do karma. Shruti Jyotitanam, Pashwadi Hinsa Lakshananam cha Karmanam. So Shruti has said, kill the animals in sacrifice. Prageva na adharmatvam. So previous, right from the beginning, don't think it is adharma because it is killing. See the killing, cruel, even that is not adharma. Not doing that is adharma. So why you blame the Vedic karma? That is how Shankara is arguing in favor of the Vedic karmas. Pragevana dharmatvam iti sunishchita muktam bhavati. So the karma people will say that before and don't think it is sin. That is the being told by Gita and all the Vedas. Tad asat. Now, reply to this entire logic, philosophy of the Karmavadis, Shankar says tad asat. That is a wrong thing. Jnana karma nishtayo vibhaga vachanat buddhi dvaya shrayayo. Main point is that two different minds, two different states of mind. One engages in karma, one engages in cultivation of knowledge. So, knowledge is not what you think, simply some information. Knowledge is change of consciousness. And change of consciousness, this side. Continue to do karma, this side. So, Vibhaga Vachanat. In this Gita itself, Bhagavan will tell you that there are two minds and two types of religion prescribed for them. That is the greatness of Hinduism. Each according to his requirement, not same regimentation for all. That is not religion. That is called regimentation, not discipline. Like military, all should step at the same time. No. So, what you think is wrong, because Gita has divided two different minds, buddhi dvaya shrayayo, because it is supported by two sorts of consciousness. And he has further explains that. Ashochan ityadina, in the beginning of this from 11 shloka now, Bhagavata yavat sadarmapi chaveksha iti etadantena granthena. So you have to locate and tell. Ashochan is shloka number 11. And end is Swadharmamapi chaveksha navikampitum arhasi. That is 31 shloka. Seeing your own path also. That means up to that, not your path, but the ideal has been shown. So that is for those people who possess that type of mind, separated. And for people like you, separated. That one should understand the teaching of the Gita. Iti yadantena granthena yat paramartha atmatattva nirupanam krutam. Ultimate nature of your own self is done there. Tat Sankhya. That is called real knowledge, not Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya, I told you repeatedly, has two different meanings. In the Gita, Sankhya means samyak khyayate yena, that which is right knowledge, what we generally call as Vedanta. Knowledge, right knowledge. And the other meaning is that they count by numbers, Sattva, Rajatama, etc. So the Sankhya philosophy is different. Tat Sankhya. Right knowledge is that which is taught by Shloka 11 up to 31, up to 30 end. Yet Paramartha Atma Tattva Nirupanam Krutam, the determination of the ultimately real nature of self. Tat Sankhya. Tad Vishaya Buddhi Atmano Janmadi Shadvikriya Abhavat Akarta Atma. And the buddhi, the consciousness, buddhi is consciousness, both, not intellectual thinking. Yeah, another big mistake people make. Buddhi is not our rational thinking. Tad Vishaya Buddhi. That means that has become the nature of his consciousness, which the object of that consciousness is that, the real nature of the soul. Atmano Janmadi Shadvikriya Bhavat. So there, Atman does not undergo Janma, Jara, Mrityu, growth and all that Shadvikar. Shadvikar, we shall see later on, that is, Yaska has said, a man is born, grows, etc., etc. Atman does not go. Abhavat. And because of that, Atman is not the doer. Atman, Akarta Atma, iti, Prakranartha Nirupanat. That is how the meaning of that portion comes. Ya Jayate Sa Sankhya Buddhi. So that consciousness is called the right consciousness or consciousness of the Jnanis. Sa Yesham Jnaninam Uchita Bhavati Te Sankhya. So those Jnanis for whom that is right, they are themselves called Sankhyas. And this Bhagavan will say that I have divided from the Vedic times Sankhya's Buddhi and Karmi's Buddhi. Etasya Buddhe Janmana Prak, they are connected, huh? Because both are religion, both are paths to God. Etasya Buddhe Janmana Prak, till that consciousness is awakened, till that consciousness is born. Atmano, Dehadi Vyatiriktva, Kartrutva, Bhuktrutva Adi Apeksho. Akartrutva, please. Atmano Dehadi Vyatiriktva. No, Kartrutva. Bhoktrutva Adi Apeksho. Acha. Oh. Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva is one side. Compared to that, Dehadi Vyatiriktva. No. Oh. Another set of people. The karmis who are proposing karma and done together, their idea is that Atman, mind is separate from Atman, Atman is separate from mind, but they are connected. And so, Atman is different from body, but he is the doer, he is the enjoyer. And so, Vivek he also does. Vivek is what is right for me, what is wrong for me. That is his Vivek. Dharma, Viveka, Purvako. What shall be similar? Moksha sadhana anusthana nirupan. Moksha sadhana anushthan. Moksha sadhana anusthana nirupana lakshana yoga. Okay, so the other man's path. The other man does not have that knowledge, and so he has to think of what is right and what is wrong, and that type of viveka he has to apply. Bhagavan has told clearly, I will tell you now the bodha which applies to karmis, that he has separated. So that is referring to till the higher knowledge is born, then man has to think that Atman is separate from the body, but he is the Karta, he is the Bhokta, and he must know what is right and wrong, and that determines his moksha sadhana, that is his yoga path. Tad Vishaya Buddhi, Yoga Buddhi. So karma is his path, and part of the path you may say. And the consciousness which is according to this Yoga Buddhi. That is the Buddhi in Karma Yoga. Sa yasham karminam uchita bhavati, the yogina. So Bhagavan called them yogis, karma yogis, who are fit for that type of consciousness. So two sets of consciousness Bhagavan has divided clearly, and so don't mix up. That consciousness, this consciousness are different. They cannot be mixed up. That shows real nature of Atman beyond everything. And this is real nature of Atman. Atman is separate but doer, worshipper, and all that experiencer. And so he has to choose the right or wrong action and do his karma. That is his path. So this Bhagavan has divided. So don't think they can be done together. Hope everything is clear by now. So that is what Shankar has shown against those who think that can be mixed. So this Shankar's explanation continues. How Bhagavan has started. We shall see it tomorrow, please. We can repeat some of these points and continue tomorrow. Om Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetra Ekapanaya Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Prapanna Parijataya Totravitraikapanai Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha.